Hi, welcome to week 2 of the Petit Rouge Roosters quilt along. So this week I want to just talk to you about the foundation panels, kind of a little bit more about my inspiration and why I've done them the way I've done them. First of all, before I get started with those, I just want to point out that I have now finished all 6 of the roosters. I'm going to show them to you. I've left them all on the parchment paper, and I'll be peeling them off this week and applying them to the foundation panels. And this is the part I've just been waiting for. So all of these are finished. Aren't they so cute? So all of my effort with this has been with this quilt. It's just the best way to make a quilt because you get to do all the fun collage part, and the backgrounds have been designed to coordinate specifically with these roosters, okay? So the scale and everything should work perfectly. It will work perfectly with the foundation panel. Now these, let me explain kind of my inspiration and why each one is sold individually. So you can purchase just one panel like this, or you can purchase several, or you can purchase the whole 6, the complete collection of 6 panels. The reason that I've done this, let me show you the original rooster quilt that I did many years ago is right here. And I really had fun doing the background of him. I wanted him, so he is the original rooster that was inspired. I wanted him to be very French Provençal, so I used a lot of beautiful fussy cutting fabric, and I actually used, for the border, I created a border for the block using this vintage French fabric that a friend brought to me about 30 years ago. So I've had this darling French fabric for about 30 years, and the dilemma is I can't really sell this as a kit, right? Because I only have this much fabric, nor do I have any of the fussy cutting fabric. It's all out of stock. And so that is a problem that we've repeatedly run into here at Collage Quilter. If I design a quilt or a block and I put it on the background, you may remember this happened with the garden party pattern last summer. A lot of people wanted to use the same backgrounds and create the same background, but it was impossible because I had used fabric that I couldn't source anymore. So I've decided, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore. The next design we're going to do is going to be a complete background, so that all of these pieces have been designed by me, inspired by French fabric. So it's designed to look like it's been pieced together, but it comes as a panel. So all of the little fussy cutting elements are already on this. So this just makes it beautiful and easy for you to put together your own Roosters quilt. So now all I have to do is, let me also mention, we'll talk more about this in a couple weeks when we get to the piecing. So each of these has been given a generous amount of fabric around the block design so that you can lay it down and cut it precisely to a 1/4 inch seam allowance, or even a 1/2 inch seam allowance if you want. But then as you piece these things together, it will be very precise, so super easy piecing project, and all of the corners will match up to create a really cool on point looking block. So I'm really excited about the way it has come out. I'm thrilled with it. The fabric is super nice. We spent a long time working with a manufacturer in Korea, and so I'm thrilled with the fabric. So now let me just show you. The fun part is that I now get to peel away some of the roosters one by one and start applying them to the block. So as you know, this is a parchment pressing pattern, which means these have all been built on parchment paper. Do not confuse parchment paper with freezer paper. Sometimes people do that because they're not listening to me. But The other important element is that I've used Steam-A-Seam. Light Steam-A-Seam 2 is the fusible on the back. We've talked about this in the last video. So now all of these pieces come off in one unit, a little bit like a sticker, and all I have to do is apply it to my block, position it where I want it, and he will stick here temporarily, and I can apply all of the roosters to each block just to ensure that I'm happy with them, and I can move them around if I want to. So if I wanted to change this one out and put him on a different block, I can do that. I could go a little bit more like this. So now I get to just play around with this, and look how beautiful that is. They're going to fit perfectly. Some of them are a little wider, and so you'll see the more narrow roosters will fit on some of these that have a little bit more fussy cutting stuff, that, you know, more of the flowers in the design space. So anyway, I'm going to now get these all arranged the way I want them and press them, and then we'll be back next week with a live video. Watch my social media so that you can see how I'm progressing. Okay, so I'll show you along. You can just see what's happening on social media. So follow my Instagram, which is collage.quilter. That's the handle there. Subscribe to this channel too on YouTube so that you can see everything as it comes out. Next week will be a live video, and then in 2 weeks we will do the piecing and apply the striped border fabric to finish off the quilt top. So I'm gonna go have fun arranging these, and I hope that you do as well, and I'll see you back here again next week. Thanks for joining me. Adios. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Well, show up next week because that's the live Q&A. So if you have questions, I'll see you next week. Okay, see ya, bye.